Alright, now we go to the camera hack itself. There are 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Remove those. This board just gently lifts out. I'll switch this to macro. Alright, you can see these are the points. This is your power button. This is your shutter button. Power is going to go there. Common there. On the shutter, and then I found that one of the best things to do when you're preparing to do this is to get some glue on your contacts.
Daddy.
On your contacts, and that will allow you to get your wires on there a little bit better. The shutter, the points, oops, let me get my screwdriver out here. The points that you're going to go to on the shutter are here and here. So I will get ready to do that now. Switch off of macro. I don't know if I can zoom this in and get any clarity. I can't get any better clarity than what I've got. So what I do, and there, as you can tell, just based on my finger and the tip of the screwdriver, these points are really small. Okay, it's kind of like the W series cams. So patience is an absolute necessity. Now, on the earlier prototypes, the power hack was different. It was reversed. I'm not going to get into that, but the bottom left-hand corner, it's labeled C. Let me see if you can see that when I do a macro here. It's labeled C. Oops. Labeled C there, A, B, C. So we're soldering to C and B. C is going to be the negative, common. B is going to be your power. Likewise over here, you'll see a BA and a DB. Those are the 2 points that we solder to over here, and they're the shutter and the shutter common. So what I do is you can use whatever, I'm just going to use an X-Acto now, get some flue, and put it right there. Don't need much, and I don't profess to be all that great of a solderer, and I think you'll learn that here in just a few seconds when I actually begin to solder. The point of me is to tell you where to solder, not to tell you how. Most of y'all probably know a lot better than I do. Alright. Ultimately, the wires are going to run out at the bottom. So what I like to do is set the wires in there where they're going to go. Now I have pre-tinned my wire, so this is a little tricky because you're going over the other shutter. You don't want to have your tin lead too long, because then it can touch another point. So for me, the hardest part is getting everything lined up. Once you get it in there, which I did not. Take your soldering iron and, just like you would on a W series cam, lay it on there for a couple seconds. Let it sit. If I did this correctly, my wire will be on there. If I didn't, it will be loose. Just a light, gentle tug to verify that it's on there. Now, move over to here, your next point. And again, I found this is the best method that works for me. It may not be. Some of y'all may look at this and say, what the heck's he doing? But then over here, a couple seconds. If I did it, a light tug. Okay, those two are on there. Now, what I'm going to do is go to the shutter and the blue wire, which I use as my shutter common, goes on the, I'll show you here in just a second, the one that I had earlier labeled DB and BA. And so then I take my blue wire, and y'all, whatever you feel comfortable. I think I've probably got too much wire tin there, so I'm going to trim it down. Make sure it's tinned a little bit better. And then I do exactly the same thing. I already have the flue on there, and I've learned from people a lot wiser than me that flue is the way to go when you do this. It will just make your life a whole lot easier. Okay, hold it on there. Oops. 1, 2. That does not look like it's on there very well. No, it's not. So I'll redo that. 2. Alright. Little tug, make sure it's fine. And I have the same issue with my shutter common wire. And it really doesn't make any difference on the color. I just like to have my color scheme set every time. So I put that where the BA is, like we just talked about. Take my soldering iron. I'm sorry, I'm covering it up. Two. Give it a light tug. And it's on there. So what I have is I've got all of my points. I've got, again, A, my negative at B, positive. I'm sorry, my negative here, my positive at B, over here at BA, and dB. So that is